Welcome to Taking Care of Business on News Talk 1180 KERN for the best in Saturday talk radio at 1 o'clock and on 1230 KGEO at 10 o'clock Saturday. And for the best in Wednesday talk radio on 1410 KERI, the Christian station. We are now on 1000 KKIM in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and also 3 times a week on the internet nationwide through knookmedia.com. Plus, you can catch any of Clay and my shows for the last 4 years on the internet at Clay and Marty Show. My partner is Clay Koerner, and I'm Marty Pay, and our producer is Greg Held. Hey, Clay, that was a great show last week with Pete Peterson, the Republican candidate for Secretary of State.
I think Peterson, if he wins, will do an excellent job.
I like him a lot.
He's dedicated to the position. He's not looking to move up in the government.
Yes, contrary to his opponent who's looking to move up again.
Right.
And also, you know, it's interesting. If he wins, he'll be the first Republican to win a statewide election in California since 2006.
Wow.
Yeah. Then we had Wayne Allen Rood, our second guest last week. Good old Wayne.
I mean, racehorse.
Yeah, you just ask Wayne one question.
We couldn't get a question in, could we?
Wayne's great. I
and
love
he
him.
really railed on that, what's his name, in the White House?
Obama, yeah.
Yeah,
Obamacare.
that's the guy.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
They were classmates at Columbia, and he never saw him there, so that speaks volumes. Before we introduce today's guest, I want to put a plug in for next week's show. Next week, we've got 2 very famous people. One will be Wally Amos, famous Amos Cookies. We had him on 4 years ago. He was one of our very first guests when we started the show.
Right, I thought that he had passed away.
No, he's still around.
Still cooking.
Around. Still cooking. And then we've got Senator Bob Smith, who is running against Scott Brown for his Senate seat in New Hampshire. That's a very contested race, and it's going to be a great, great show next week. But this week we've got another dynamite show. In the second half, we have a gentleman running for the Assembly on the coast, Rob McCoy. But right now by phone, we've got a familiar face running for the Assembly again, Pedro Rios. Pedro, welcome back to Taking Care of Business.
Yes, thank you, Marty and Clay, for having me on your show today. I'm very delighted to be able to have this opportunity to be able to speak to you and to the public, to your listeners.
Well, it's always a pleasure having you on, Pedro.
So, Pedro, you ran for this office a few years ago. Now, why are you running again?
You know, it's the motives have not changed. You know, in 2000, the first time when I ran for city council in the city of Delano, my motive was to help bring positive change to Delano. That was my motto. And we know that California is in dire trouble. We have serious issues that no one can deny. And obviously, I came very close to winning 2 years ago. You know, I was asked to do it. Once again, I put thinking into it. I just didn't jump right away and say, here I am, because I'm not doing this for power. I'm not doing this for attention. I'm doing it because I truly want to play a role in helping transform California. I know that my time here on earth is limited, and hopefully before I leave, I can help people and help this state become a great state once again that it used to be.
Now, Pedro, obviously you guys are running a milder campaign this time than last time out, which is great. Is there any reason for that, for the difference in the tone of this campaign?
I think that eventually, I do believe it's going to get heated. Obviously, 2 years ago, Mr. Salas, they began to launch attack ads in mid-July. And eventually that negativity towards the end, it wasn't really received quite well by the voters in the district. And so I think that they're taking a different road, but I know that eventually, without a doubt, the attack ads are going to come. There's no doubt about that. So it's going to be a very heated race.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right down the road. Now, what's the district number again?
We're looking at, obviously, we still have a disadvantage in Republican registration by at least 20 points. So we're looking at about, they're around 50, it's 50 plus Democrat, 30% Republican, and then the rest are independents and others.
Uh-huh.
But nevertheless, we still have a very good shot at it because this is a swing district.
Yeah, definitely. What is the Assembly District?
It includes all of Kings County, and then a big portion of Kern, which includes Delano, Wasco, Shafter, McFarland, Los Hills, Buttonwillow, East Bakersfield, Arvin, Lamont, and all those areas all the way to the Grapevine. So those are the areas that we're looking at.
You know, earlier, Pedro, this is Clay. Earlier you said you wanted to make a difference. You know, when I know a little bit about your background, and I have to tell you, you've already made a difference, not only in your community, but in throughout all of Kern County. So we're proud to have you as a candidate, and I hope that you are successful. And if you're not, you know, then we'll work with what we have.
Yes, that is correct, Clay, and we're going to work hard. We're going to bring out the issues. Obviously, we know that it's going to be challenging. Nothing is easy, but I believe that, you know, when I look at history, I teach history, and throughout history, the greatest moments of change, or when we've had great revolutions, they haven't taken place when times were great. They took place when we had great challenges, and I think it's a perfect opportunity for change to take place in our state. We're in a dire drought. We know that businesses are leaving California. Unemployment rates are high, and obviously the regulations are hurting us. And so it's a perfect time for change to take place, and that's why I believe that we have a perfect opportunity throughout the state for Republicans to take on and win various seats, both at the national level, local level, and at the state level.
You know, on a personal level, didn't you also serve in the U.S. Army?
Yes, I did serve. I served 8 years in the California Army National Guard. I went through officer candidate school, and so I'm very happy. I'm very blessed to live in this country. I came here when I was 9 years old, and everywhere I go, I tell people how blessed I am to be living in this great country. You know, back in my little village where I lived in Mexico, the opportunities for me and my brothers and my parents were very limited. The highest grade that we could attend there in the school village was 6th grade. But because I was able to come here, I have been able to live the American dream. I've been able to go to school. I've been able to attain a career, and obviously have a business and do other things, travel the world, see life at its fullest. And that's why I'm very grateful, and obviously I do want to give back, and I knew that one way to give back was to serve my country.
You know, Pedro, I don't know, every time we have a guest like you, Clay has to bring up this Army thing, you know, which kind of, I mean, what can I say? Being in the Marines, it's like, you Army guys were okay, but, it's not the same. What is the Assembly District number?
It's the 32nd, 32nd Assembly District.
Okay. So, and this, last time around, you didn't seem to have a lot of Republican Party support. Is that the case this time around as well?
I think there is a different aroma, a different air. I feel it. Last time, even as I worked throughout the district asking for money, it was a little bit tougher. In fact, this time around, even the primary, donors have stepped up to the plate. People know me out there. I think that they really have seen all of me now. They at first they were a little bit skeptical, especially having a full Hispanic running for that seat. And so they were skeptical, but little by little they have received me. They have seen who I am. They have seen my heart. They have heard me speak. They've listened to my story, and they're stepping up to the plate. So I feel good about Republicans accepting me and Republicans supporting me, especially leaders like Kevin McCarthy and Shannon Grove and others, Gene Pooler. They're coming forward, and they're coming in full force to help me win this election.
We're having a conversation with Pedro Rios, who is the Republican candidate for the Assembly in the 32nd District.
Pedro, one of the things you just said is it's nice to have a full Hispanic running. What do you mean by full Hispanic?
Well, what I'm saying is, obviously I'm an immigrant. I was not born here. And as an immigrant, I will be able to connect with a lot of the Spanish-speaking voters in the district who have for a long time have been told that the Republican Party is the party of the rich. The Republican Party is the party that's against them. And who better than myself can go out there and tell them, look, it is about the working people. It is about opportunity. It's about being independent and free. And I'm an example of that, and so are others. And so I believe that I'm excited to be able to take on that message and to be able to help my party, the Republican Party, retain and gain some of those voters, because their beliefs, their ideas are aligned with Republican principles, but unfortunately they've been told that that's not the case. And so that's why I'm excited, and that's why others like Kevin McCarthy and Shannon Grove are excited that I can help transform this district into a Republican seat.
Let me continue on with the full Hispanic situation. What is your opinion on immigration? How should that be handled in California?
Yeah.
What should we do with the borders, and what about driver's licenses?
Yes, there is no doubt. I've outlined my view on the immigration, and there is no doubt that the border needs to be secured. And because if that doesn't happen, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from now, this is going to be an ongoing problem. So it has to be solved.
Exactly. Pedro, let's pick up there when we come back from the break.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be back in a moment on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk 1180.